morning. Today I was wondering what to do with myself because I have a few different projects in mind around the house, but I just didn't have like a strong will about like what I wanted to start with today, and I kind of need like a slow day. Like I don't want to take on something super ambitious because it's been a long week. I'm a little bit tired, and also I did an online workout with my friends Kat and Megan over Zoom last night, and I'm a little bit sore. Pilates is hard, guys. It's hard. So this morning I was thinking about what can I do that's kind of a simple project but would be productive and make me feel productive. And what I came up with was that. The great big hole in the ceiling, that hole, surprisingly, you may be surprised to learn, is not part of the design plan in this kitchen. So today is a day for some work in the kitchen. We're going to fill up this hole. We're going to put a fake ceiling over the existing hole here. And we're also going to work with these fake tiles. If you're a patron, you would have seen the video probably of when I put on these fake tiles, and they did great for about 2 months. That video was maybe in like January. And then they kind of started coming unglued from the wall. So it's time to come up with a better solution. I know this is a little bit unorthodox. I know it's not like the best DIY technique ever, but I'm gonna just glue them to the wall. I think once they're glued, based on my experience gluing wood trim to the wall, they're gonna stay in place real good. So I think that'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. But anyway, that's the plan for today. It's renovating this area of the kitchen and getting it all nice and polished and finished. The one little complication of this project is I'm gonna have to make the false ceiling removable because there's one more project to be done in this area, and that is adding some spotlights up here in the fake ceiling. I personally am terrified of electrical work, but fortunately Laurent, my boyfriend, is not, so that's something he's gonna do the next time he's here, but he's not here right now, so I'm gonna put up the ceiling today, and then when he's here, we're ready to do the electricity. We're gonna remove it, put in the electrical work for the spotlights, and then put the spotlights in and then replace the ceiling. So I also need to make sure that the ceiling is something that can be removed. Anyway, that was a lot of talking. Let's get to work. So my original thought was to add a piece of wood as the false ceiling, but then I talked to Laurent and he suggested that because we have leftover drywall from doing this part of the wall, that maybe we have a piece left over that's big enough to cover the hole and become the false ceiling, and that would save me a little bit of money and a little bit of time from not having to go to the shop. So I'm gonna head down to the garage and see if we have a piece that's big enough. Some point we're gonna have to clean out the garage. Things are getting a little bit ridiculous. I did though, there was this morning a small toaster oven that I sold. Yay! So one thing has been cleared. Problem solved. Here's where we have the extra leftover drywall. Actually, this is not drywall. This is a piece of wood from, I think, the kitchen installation. That could be big enough, although it is quite heavy. Maybe I'll take that upstairs as a backup plan. And looks like this is our biggest piece of drywall. That might work. I'll take both of those upstairs. I'm so impressed with myself that I carried these both in one trip. I'm so good. Okay, everybody cross your fingers. Well, as usual, we've hit a complication in my original plan. What a surprise! This has never happened before in every single other project in this entire house. The complication is that both of these pieces that I brought upstairs are too small. Neither one will cover the hole by itself. As I was carrying the wood up the stairs, I did remember that wood is very heavy and maybe it is better to use a light substance for this project. So I'm going to use the drywall. And if I went to the store and bought a full sheet of drywall, then I could use that to cover the hole in one piece. The problem is that Laurent and I already brought full sheets of drywall up here. This is on the second floor, so we had to go up 2 flights of stairs. Second European floor. For Americans, that's our 3rd floor. We already had to bring these giant sheets of drywall up the stairs. We barely managed it with 2 people, so I think that there's just no way I'm gonna be able to do that by myself. Also, the car that I have here right now is Laurent's PT Cruiser, and my SUV is in Paris with Laurent. And so I don't think I could fit a whole sheet of drywall in the PT Cruiser. I don't think it would work. So the revised plan, I think that what I'm gonna have to do is create my own choose your own adventure, cobbled together drywall fake ceiling by putting together 2 pieces and making that big enough to cover the whole space. So I'm gonna try to find 2 pieces that are big enough to be a half, and then connect them using a 1x2 piece of wood, just screw them directly into the wood, and then try to use putty or paint to hide the seam. Hopefully I can cut pretty precisely and the seam won't be like too egregious. She said now, cut to the Grand Canyon of seams. I found some wood. This is just to make a straight line to cut. This is the wood I think I'll use to actually hold together the drywall. Maybe I'll do 2, or maybe I'll just do just 1. I'm not really sure. I don't really have a plan if I'm being honest. And I got the biggest piece of drywall left that I could find. I hope that this will be big enough. I'm a little worried that it's not. Okay, here's my plan. There's a small lip on the top of the wall where I can actually cut the drywall a little bit too wide and use the lip to help support it. So this is where the actual wall will be. And this is my extra that I'm cutting to rest on top of the wall and help support the fake ceiling. And fortunately, I really love cutting drywall. So if you've never done it before, it's super easy. All you have to do is measure and draw on your drywall where you want to cut, and then take an X-Acto knife like this. This is the only kind of difficult part, because you just need to draw an exactly straight line down where you want to cut. If you want, you could use a ruler if you want to be really fancy. And once you get to the end of your drywall, like I'm about to right here, I'm gonna just remove any extra little bits of paper. I'm gonna run down it again with my X-Acto knife, trying to stay in exactly the same track. And then comes the fun part, because I can go over here. Oh, I forgot an essential thing. You have to break the whole way through the drywall. So I've got to just continue my line a little bit messily out there. That's good. And now I'm going to flip it over. And then I'm going to lift it up like that. There we go. And finally, I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to cut through the paper on this side. And I can lift it away. Nice! All right, so I've assembled the fake ceiling and I've put some putty and then a strip of paper tape and a little bit more putty to seal the join between the two pieces. And while that's drying, I'm gonna get started on the fake tiles. All right, we've got a couple of little issues that are unforeseen, but I think fixable. First off, that metal exhaust pipe, because when I arrived in the house, there was a hot water heater venting exhaust directly into the attic. So that's what that's from. But it's sticking down, you can see here a little bit, below the level of where the ceiling's gonna be. So I'm gonna have to go into the attic and pull on the other side and try to pull it up through the attic floor. The other twist is that we've cut this little bit of wood right here. I can't point when I'm looking in the camera. I'm really bad at it. There we go. There we go. I think that, yep, there, that bit of wood. That bit of wood. I thought was just resting up there loose, and it's in fact nailed down. So I'm gonna have to get a hammer and try to pry that bit of wood loose as well. All right, here is the other end of the pipe. I'm up here in the attic. Long-term viewers will know that I am deeply terrified of the attic because spiders. Let's see if I can pull that up. God, I hope there's not a spider inside it. That would be truly horrible. Oh, actually, while I'm up here, I'm going to take advantage to show you guys a thought that I'm having, and maybe you guys can give me some feedback, because I'm toying with this idea, but I don't know if it's what I want to do or not. So up here in the attic, among the many items that we found, there is this bed. So you can see that's the footboard and the headboard. And these are the side pieces. There's actually two beds up here. The third side piece is from the other bed. So what I would like to do is have the sitting room that's on the first floor be most of the time a sitting room and just like a communal space. But if we were really at capacity, once I start teaching the aerial circus workshops I want to teach here, or if it's just a lot of friends and family who are here, I would like that space to also be able to be an extra bedroom. So what I was thinking is, because this is a single size bed, maybe this could be like a sofa, and just put only one side of the bed on, and maybe find a way to make another side of the bed to hold up the mattress that's just like a piece of wood, so you can't really see it. So it only have three sides of the wood, kind of like a sofa, and then have just like a lot of pillows and cushions and stuff on it. And I don't know if you guys kind of grasp what I mean. I'm not really explaining this well, but if you guys can kind of just imagine like a bed, but one side is gone and it's a sofa, but then when it needs to be a bed, it can be a bed. I was kind of toying with that idea to do with this bed. But I don't know if is it weird? Would it be weird, or would it be like kind of cute and adaptable? I don't know. By the way, if you guys are interested in the attic or the barn or some of the other kind of unusual spaces in this house, I've already done video tours of the attic, the barn, the secret abandoned house that's also on this property, and all the stuff that we found in them, because we found a lot of stuff just left up here, which is pretty cool. But if you're interested in that, the videos are already on the channel, so you just have to scroll back through the videos until you find them, because yeah, it's pretty interesting. Even if I say so myself, I think there's some really cool and interesting stuff that we've got around here. Okay, the reason I came up here, I don't want to touch it. It's got cobwebs on it. I should have brought gloves. Nah. That's probably enough, right? We think that's enough. That's enough. Yay! It's high enough. I would have been so sad if I had to go back and do it again. Well, this is a great big bunch of BS. The stupid paper tape that I used to cover the seam is just peeling right off, because every time I've tried to use the tape to cover the seams in placo, it has been utterly useless. And I want to just advertise that to the world. Paper tape that covers the seam in the placo, bad system. We need to find a new system, and then we need to set this freaking tape on fire. I hate it. But actually, now that I stop and like reconsider my plans, we will at some point have to take this fake ceiling down so we can install the spotlights. And probably if I putty at this point, then it's going to just crack when we take the ceiling down. So actually, probably it's better just to put it up with no putty and leave the joint visible for the time being, and then fix the joint after we put in the spots. So I guess my next step now is just to put the ceiling in place. If I'm not going to putty it, I probably shouldn't paint it at this point. So yeah, let's try to get up there. Guys, it's in place, and I hate it. It looks really crooked. Part of that is because the beam is not straight, but I think part of that is because it's like wedged in there so that it fits. So this, I just don't want this to be the finished product. So we're gonna start over with a new plan. So the things that I hate about this are that it looks like it's tilted down on this side. That is actually even, but I think because it's so close to the beam, we're gonna have to count the beam as even and not the fake ceiling, because I would rather have the beam and the ceiling be parallel and not have those be parallel with the floor than have the ceiling be parallel with the floor and look like it's angled because it's close to the beam. So I think what I'm gonna do is take it down. I'm gonna try to put a 1x2 across the front and the back of the hole, and maybe try to make those a little bit more like running parallel with the beam. And then I'm just gonna go to the shop and see if they have a piece of drywall that could possibly fit in the car and that I could like have a hope of getting up the stairs. I don't remember them having that, but maybe there's like a way I could cut it while I'm there. But it needs to be one piece. This seam in the middle and this two pieces thing is just not the one. So step one, go to the shop and pray for drywall. Step two, get a 1x2 and try to put in some like support beams of 1x2 in the hole. Step three, a lot of prayer, maybe some wine, maybe some more prayer, maybe some weeping. But it's got to be better than this. I can't leave that. Okay, let's go. Success! They did have placo, or drywall, it's placo in French, that was a manageable size. This should be big enough to cover the whole hole, and it fit in the car no problem, and I've made it up the stairs. So there's hope, guys, there's hope. She says now. Okay, so the problem was that this piece of wood that's the front support is not straight, and it was too far back on this side. So the drywall piece was coming farther front than this piece of wood. Because this piece of wood wasn't fitting underneath the beam, there wasn't enough space between the drywall that's already there and the beam. And I just got a little annoyed. I did something a little bit crazy. I started hammering it, and glory be, it's moving forward. So we're just gonna go with this. This is fine. Everything's fine. Everything's totally fine. Okay, everybody cross your fingers. Get out your 4-leaf clover. Throw some salt over your shoulder. It is time to test if this fits in the space. And if it doesn't, I can't recut it because I only have one piece. So.
Wow!
Okay, I just want to say, I am not a sweaty person normally. I am going somewhere with this. Normally I can do a 6-minute aerial number. I come off stage, really not, like, zero sweat. Can, 9 minutes, zero sweat. I am sweating like a dog right now. I guess dogs don't actually sweat. Sweating like a pig? Do pigs sweat? Because that was so hard. It is in place. I believe it is solid. And it's looking pretty good. But oh my God, that was so hard to do though, because I had to basically hold up the piece of drywall with one hand and use the drill with the other to screw it in. And that thing is heavy. And I was at awkward angles, like my wrist hurt. That was such a workout, but it was worth it because I think it looks quite good and it's so much better than it was. And there's a few little extra touches left to do. I'll show you. I mean, it looks so much better. The 2 little extra touches that I want to do are to put a little piece of drywall from my leftover drywall in that little hole beneath the beam, just to get that sealed off and solid and looking nice. And also there's a little gap. Let's see if I can put the camera up there. There's a little gap between the wood of the stairs and this piece of drywall I've just put in. So I would like to put something there just to seal it off. I'm not sure what the best way to seal that off though is. For the moment, I might just put some tape over it. I just want to make sure that like spiders can't come in and out of it. That's my main priority here. When we take the removable fake ceiling out to do the spotlights in it, it might be easiest just when we replace it then to just put some putty in that hole and seal it up that way. So maybe I'm just going to put a big piece of tape over it. In the meantime, let's fill up that small hole. It's in place, it's finished. I had to putty around the edges so it's drying and it's not painted yet, but I'm gonna show you the finished product, the finished for today product, which I just called Laurent and described to him as the greatest work of art ever created by humans. I mean, I won't toot my own horn, but I think that's fair. David, the Mona Lisa, step back, because this has happened now and I am so proud of myself, especially when I had to start over from scratch, and it just has turned out so much better. I'm so glad I started over. It was definitely worth it. Here it is. only is it beautiful, it's level. All right, so maybe I'm being a little egocentric when I say it's the greatest work of art ever created by humans. Maybe, but I am so proud of this. Working in this house and doing all this DIY, I feel like every day I do something that I never would have thought I could do. If you'd asked me 2 years ago or even 2 months ago, I would have said that this was beyond me and it was beyond my capabilities. And now I've done it, and I've done I think a really good job. And it's such a personal growth experience when you do a project like this project specifically, or just in general, fixing up this house. It's such a journey, and I just feel like I've grown in ways that I would have never imagined, and developed skills that would have never have imagined myself having, and developed a bravery to try new things that has just been so incredible. This is such a great experience. I'm just gushing now. Maybe it's because I'm tired. But yeah, I think that maybe that's a signal it's time to cook dinner and clean up a little bit and then head off to bed. But before I do those things, I'm just gonna remind you guys to please do subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, check that you are still subscribed, because I just saw that some other YouTubers were having this problem as well. A lot of other Chateau channels are getting people that YouTube is automatically unsubscribing from us. And so if you enjoy this channel, you don't want to miss anything, double check that you're still subscribed, because apparently the algorithm is just knocking people off. And while you're down in the below this video section, if you wanted to give a thumbs up, a like to this video, that's also really helpful. And for the end of the video, as usual, I just want to say thank you so much to our lovely, fabulous, amazing patrons, because you guys are so supportive, and I am so grateful for you guys. So thank you, patrons. And if you're interested in becoming a patron, you get extra videos, you get extra posts about what's happening here. There's a lot of little extra things, and of course the patron money goes directly into buying fake ceilings, plaster for fake ceilings, drywall for fake ceilings, all the stuff that we need to be able to continue here at Everdeen. So yeah, the link for that is just below this video if you're interested and you want to check it out. And with that, I see the wine. It's over there across the kitchen. It's calling my name, and I've got to go and deal with that situation. So I will see you guys next time. Okay, one more little peek, because I've painted it now. It blends in with the rest of the corner. It looks so good, and I am so proud of myself, because this is something that I really wasn't sure I had the skills to do. And this project has gone from hopeful but tentative to big disaster to big win, because I love how it's come out, and I am so proud of myself. Yes!